In the bustling chaos of Lincoln High School's cafeteria, where the aroma of greasy fries and overcooked pizza mingled with the cacophony of teenage laughter and clattering trays, a girl named Emily stood frozen at the entrance, clutching a crumpled $5 bill in her trembling hand. Her faded jeans were patched at the knees, her sneakers worn thin from endless walks to school, and her backpack, held together by duct tape, slung over one shoulder like a weary companion. She scanned the menu board, her heart sinking as she realized that even the cheapest meal, a soggy sandwich and a carton of milk, cost $7. Tears pricked at her eyes, but she blinked them away, determined not to let anyone see her vulnerability. Little did she know, across the room, a pair of sharp eyes belonging to Alex Thompson, the school's enigmatic new transfer student, and secretly a young billionaire heir, were watching her every move. What happened next would shatter her world and rebuild it in ways she could never imagine. If this story touches your heart, hit that like button right now and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us kindness can change lives. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Emily Harper had always been the invisible girl at Lincoln High. At 17, she carried the weight of her family's struggles on her slim shoulders. Her father had passed away 2 years earlier in a construction accident, leaving her mother, Sarah, to juggle 2 minimum-wage jobs as a waitress and a cleaner just to keep their tiny apartment in the rundown part of town. Rent was always late, bills piled up like unspoken accusations, and food was a luxury they often skimped on. Emily helped where she could, babysitting neighborhood kids after school or collecting recyclables for spare change, but it never seemed enough. School was her escape, a place where she could dream of a future beyond the cycle of poverty, but even there, the harsh reality intruded. Lunchtime was the worst, watching her classmates devour full meals while she pretended to be on a diet or not hungry. Today was no different. Her mother had scraped together $5 from tips, whispering apologies as she pressed it into Emily's hand that morning. "Make it stretch, sweetie," Sarah had said, her eyes shadowed with exhaustion. As Emily hesitated at the cafeteria line, debating whether to buy just an apple or risk asking for credit she knew wouldn't be granted, the murmurs around her grew louder. Popular kids like Brittany and her clique giggled from their table, their trays loaded with extras, fries, sodas, even desserts. Emily felt their stares like pinpricks, imagining their whispers, "Look at her, probably can't afford lunch again." Shame burned in her cheeks, and she turned to leave, deciding she'd rather go hungry than face the humiliation. But just as she pivoted, a voice cut through the noise, smooth, confident, and unfamiliar. "Hey, wait up. You dropped this." She spun around to see a tall boy with tousled dark hair and piercing blue eyes holding out a $10 bill. It was Alex Thompson, the guy everyone was buzzing about. He'd transferred in mid-semester from some elite private academy, driving a sleek black Tesla that screamed money, yet he dressed casually in hoodies and jeans, blending in effortlessly. Rumors swirled, his family owned tech companies, he was a prodigy coder, maybe even a secret celebrity. Emily stared at the bill, confused. "That's not mine," she muttered, her voice barely audible. Alex flashed a disarming smile, the kind that could melt ice. "Well, it is now. Consider it a loan, or better yet, a gift. No strings attached." Emily's eyes widened in disbelief. Who was this guy, and why was he helping her? She wanted to refuse, pride surging like a wave, but her stomach growled traitorously, betraying her. Reluctantly, she took the money, murmuring a thank you before hurrying to the line. She bought a full tray, the sandwich, milk, and even a cookie, luxury she hadn't tasted in months. As she sat alone at a corner table, nibbling gratefully, she couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't random. Alex watched from afar, his expression thoughtful. He knew struggle too, in his own way. Orphaned at 12 when his parents died in a plane crash, he'd inherited a fortune from their software empire, but money couldn't fill the void of loneliness. Managed by trustees until he turned 18, Alex had bounced between boarding schools, craving genuine connections amid the sycophants who only saw his wealth. Seeing Emily's quiet dignity reminded him of his mother's stories about her own impoverished childhood. This, he decided, was his chance to make a real difference. That afternoon, after classes, Emily found a note slipped into her locker: "Meet me at the park bench by the old oak after school. Alex." Her heart raced with a mix of curiosity and caution. Was this a prank? Or something more sinister? But the memory of his kind eyes propelled her forward. The park was a quiet oasis amid the urban sprawl, leaves rustling in the autumn breeze as she approached. Alex was there, sitting casually with 2 coffees in hand. "I figured you might need a pick-me-up," he said, handing her one. They talked for hours, first awkwardly, then with easing familiarity. Emily shared her dreams of becoming a nurse, inspired by the doctors who couldn't save her father but fought valiantly. Alex opened up about his isolation, how wealth built walls instead of bridges. "People see the billionaire label and assume life's perfect," he confessed. "But I'd trade it all for a normal family dinner." By sunset, a fragile bond formed, one built on shared vulnerabilities rather than facades. Word spread quickly at school. Brittany and her friends sneered, spreading rumors that Emily was using Alex for his money. "She's just a gold digger," they whispered in hallways, their jealousy fueling the fire. Emily overheard it all, the words slicing like knives. She confronted Alex the next day, tears streaming. "I don't want your pity. This is making everything worse." But Alex stood firm. "It's not pity, it's partnership. Let me help, not because you need it, but because I want to." He proposed a plan: he'd tutor her in math, her weakest subject, in exchange for her teaching him real-life skills, like budgeting on a shoestring or cooking simple meals. It was a cover, of course. Alex had aced every class since kindergarten. But it gave Emily agency, turning charity into collaboration. Challenges mounted as their friendship deepened. Emily's mother, Sarah, grew suspicious when Emily came home with new school supplies Alex had loaned her. "We don't take handouts, Sarah said wearily one evening, scrubbing dishes after a double shift. Emily defended Alex, explaining his genuine intentions, but Sarah's pride mirrored her own, hard-earned from years of scraping by. Then came the school project, a group assignment on entrepreneurship. Paired together by fate or a sympathetic teacher, Emily and Alex brainstormed ideas. Emily suggested a community app for sharing resources, food banks, job listings, free tutoring, drawing from her experiences. Alex's eyes lit up. With his coding skills, he could build a prototype. They spent weekends in the library, Emily's determination fueling late nights, Alex's resources providing laptops and software she could never afford. But adversity struck hard. One rainy night, their apartment flooded from a leaky roof the landlord ignored. Sarah slipped on the wet floor, twisting her ankle badly, unable to work. Bills loomed like storm clouds. Emily broke down in front of Alex, confessing the dire situation. "We're going to lose everything," she sobbed. Alex didn't hesitate. Using his influence, he contacted a pro bono lawyer to pressure the landlord for repairs and compensation. Anonymously, he set up a fund for Sarah's medical bills, framing it as a community grant to preserve their dignity. Sarah, recovering on the couch, finally met Alex properly. Over homemade soup Emily prepared, they talked, Sarah sharing stories of her husband's dreams, Alex opening about his parents' legacy. Barriers crumbled. Sarah saw not a billionaire, but a boy seeking family. As months passed, their bond evolved into something deeper, romantic sparks amid the friendship. A school dance approached, and Alex asked Emily to be his date, not with grand gestures, but a simple note: "Will you dance with me under the stars?" She said yes, borrowing a dress from a kind neighbor. At the dance, under twinkling lights, they swayed to slow songs, the world fading away. But jealousy reared again. Brittany, spurned by Alex's indifference, spread vicious lies online, accusing Emily of manipulation. The cyberbullying escalated, posts calling her trash and beggar. Emily's grades slipped as anxiety gripped her. She considered quitting school. Alex rallied, using his platform wisely. He revealed his identity publicly, not for fame, but to defend her. In a viral social media post, he shared their story, with Emily's consent, highlighting poverty's hidden struggles and kindness's power. "Wealth means nothing without heart," he wrote. Support flooded in, donations for local charities, messages of encouragement. Emily found strength in the outpouring, confronting Britney privately. "Your words hurt, but they won't define me," she said firmly. Britney, facing backlash, apologized tearfully, admitting her own insecurities from a pressured home life. Resolution came in forgiveness, turning rivals into reluctant allies. The climax unfolded at graduation. Emily, valedictorian thanks to Alex's tutoring and her grit, stood on stage. Her speech wove their journey. "Poverty tried to break me, but kindness rebuilt me. To the boy who saw my struggle, thank you for changing everything." Alex, in the audience, beamed with pride. Post-graduation, he surprised her with a scholarship fund he'd established in her father's name, covering nursing school fully. But the real gift was his proposal to partner on the app they'd dreamed up. It launched successfully, helping thousands in similar situations. Years later, Emily became a renowned nurse, marrying Alex in a simple ceremony surrounded by loved ones, including Sarah, now retired comfortably. Their story inspired a foundation aiding underprivileged youth. As they watched their own children play, Emily reflected, one act of kindness in a cafeteria rippled into a lifetime of change.